Hey y'all, welcome to episode 35 of the Stay at Home Son podcast. And today we have the Ryan of the creator of the Legend Hunters films, and he has a really cool website with all sorts of cool films and just does really cool work and kind of like the grindhouse kind of genre. So we want to thank you for coming on and thanks for being on here today.
A thousand thank yous for having me on.
Yeah, so we looked at the website and we liked what we saw. Two of the films really stuck out to be the Christmas one, the what's it called? He comes down the chimney with the shotgun. I was laughing at that cover for so much. I love it. Right when I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna like this guy's work. So, so what I guess what I can say is what inspired your work, what inspired you to even want to get into filmmaking, and yeah.
Geez, I'll start at the beginning, I guess. I've been a filmmaker for over 25 years, and I got probably 20 plus films in distribution. Ever since high school, I've been shooting movies, and I just kept going with it. Never stopped really. So I've lived through the generations of digital video to what it is now, and it's changed so much over the years. And I've always been a fan of like the 80s and 90s type of films and I try not to put myself in a box, and I really try different types of films or filmmaking. So a lot of my work is uh I mean, I do everything from documentaries, I've done dark comedies, straight out horror, splatter, grindhouse type films. It just depends on what I'm feeling at the moment. We'll dive into something and keeps the wheels on the bus still going, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. Versatility is definitely showing your website because I'm looking at it right now and I see the Mountain Devil 3 Bigfoot invasion, and then down here I see an elk country elk documentary, something like that. That is some range right there.
Uh,
Yeah,
I was gonna say I felt like some of his films had more of a classic look. So
that's definitely some range.
it's crazy. Like back in like 2010 or something, I just got burned out on horror films, and I thought, well, what can you do on a cheap? And documentary films are kind of cheap to do if you do them right. I mean, you can get away with doing them on a very small budget. And I got into doing all kinds of weird documentaries, everything from Bigfoot to lost gold treasures, anything folklore. The elk
Awesome.
video was just like up in my area, the elk are a big thing, and the people that run like the elk viewing center up in this area where a lot of people go to see the elk, they're like, "Hey, can you make us an elk video?" And like that took like a year to make, so I'm like, I'm selling that son of a bitch, you know?
Right.
So speaking of that, can you tell us a little bit about some of the research projects with the Pennsylvania-based mythology, myths and mutants? Because a lot of that folklore and mythology, I noticed came about in that film trailer.
Sure. When kind of Legend Hunter films kind of came about, like I was under two different kind of labels. We were like Fourth Floor Pictures and we were Raw Footage, and then we came into Legend Hunter Films. It was kind of back when I was doing documentaries, more like the Bigfoot films and what have you. And I thought, well, maybe we'll stay more in this range of filmmaking. And I really got into like cryptos and Bigfoot, and just did a lot more research on Pennsylvania. And there's like a ton of folklore and like really cool stories. And then I started looking at other states, and every state's got like this list of just incredible fun stories that's just folklore. And I feel like a lot of that's gonna die out if we don't talk about it more. And I just dove into the Pennsylvania one more with the myths and mutants, and just found it a lot of fun. Like it could be documentary, but yet fictional, and you could kind of make your own little story with it, but tell the facts. And it's just so much you could do with it. And I have other projects planned for that type of stuff, and let us into Myths and Mutants too, which is a kind of a different side project. But like it's great stuff, and I think people should really, look into your state more and all kinds of cool shit.
No, yeah, definitely. Because I feel like, because I'm a big horror fan too. And one of the things that got me into horror was like those like mythology and like kind of like the cryptids of each state. And I remember growing up at like Cub Scout camp, we would all think we saw the Mothman or something like that. That was always a lot of fun. So kind of like looking through your catalog, it kind of reminded me of those days when I was super into like the cryptids and stuff. So definitely cool on that. And I would also say, is it hard for you to study, like making sure it's like historically accurate and stuff? Because I know that that's a big thing in that community. If you do something, they want to make sure, oh, it's not exactly where it happened, or that's not how. And yours look like they're very historically accurate. So do you have to do a lot of research on that, and do you enjoy doing that kind of research?
The more technical stuff, like the Law School of Dents Run, that was very technical. The Legend of Davy Lewis, that was pretty technical. The Bigfoot stuff, I mean, you're kind of taking eyewitness accounts, so you can kind of work it the best you can with low budget. Even the folklore stuff, I mean, it's not a lot of information out there. Like I've gone to historical societies and ask them, hey, can you tell me more about this legend or whatever? And they have no idea and they have nothing on record. So you're kind of just going off what stories have been passed down over the years. So you just kind of get what you can. And maybe I embellish a little bit, but that's the part of filmmaking that's fun. Like kind of coming up with your own idea of the folklore.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's pretty cool how you're able to like kind of spin that off and kind of get your own little flair and taste to it. It's really cool. And
Right.
one thing I noticed about your website and also as well as like your distribution method is you do a lot of like pay for like almost selling out DVDs, correct? Like you can buy your films right on your website, like for one view or something like that, right?
I still do the DVDs, even though the DVDs don't really sell much. I usually do it for the cast and crew and people they know that want a copy. I just kind of I do a small run of them and sell them off the website. I try to keep them on the cheap just because I want people to see the films.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool because I mean, I'm seeing more and more filmmakers starting to kind of make sure they get DVDs of their films. So would you still say that's kind of a valid distribution strategy for you? You're still making some
Uh,
decent money with that?
no, not well.
Oh, gotcha.
No, not really. I mean, back in the day, like back in 2000 when we did like a lot of horror conventions, yeah, you could make out on DVDs, but over time, like the price of like expos and this and that, like it's really not. And I mean, I don't want to sell you a $20 DVD of something that's indie, I guess. I don't know, that's just me. I want you to see the films, so I try to keep them cheap. But the revenue on DVDs is just not there. And like I said, I just kind of do it for the cast and crew and their family and friends who want to check them out because everyone at the end of the day, like me, I still like to have a hard copy of something. Like back in the day when your favorite artist had an album out, I just you couldn't wait to have that physical copy, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely nothing like having the physical media of your own film to kind of look at like there it is, it feels like it really feels completed that way versus just watching it on streaming. So I think that's pretty cool. But
Exactly.
as a veteran filmmaker, you've seen it all. You even saw the change from where it started to get more accessible to people with digital and filmmaking. What do you think the future is for distribution for indie filmmakers maybe trying to make some profit? Because we know we're all fighting for pennies out here, but what would you say your best advice is for those filmmakers?
It's gonna keep changing, but streaming is the only way to really go and get your film out there and hopefully, people see it. I know you're in an ocean of other movies and you're fighting for just a little bit of light on your film just so people see it. But streaming is really gonna be the way and keeping your rights. I mean, I've really kind of switched gears over the year. I used to do a lot of distribution through other companies, and I still do to some degree, but I've really kind of pulled back and kind of kept all the rights as po much as possible. Like my older films, I wish I still had the rights to, and get them out on streaming the best you can and build up that catalog in your own streaming, however you're doing it. Like a lot of people doing Film Hub, a lot of people doing just other avenues. Keep all your rights as much as possible and just kind of build your own catalog. I think that's the way to go right now, but it's going to get tougher and tougher. So you really almost have to put money aside and really do some hardcore marketing. And there's no real answer to that really, except pound those films as much as possible and don't stop pounding them because I'm still promoting films I did 5 years ago. And people are just
So
finding them now. So just keep at it as much as you can.
Definitely. And I was also gonna say, you talked about like distribution and stuff. You mentioned Film Hub. Do you use Film Hub for distribution, or have you ever used Indie Rights? Because we have a lot of people on our channel that debate like which one's the better one, Film Hub, Indie Rights. I personally use Film Hub, but I like to ask like our veteran filmmakers who have been there, seen it all, which one they think's the best.
Right, kind of started with Film Hub, so if I have a good experience with something, I'll just stick with that. And I've been using Film Hub ever since, to be honest.
Awesome. Yeah, I've had a good experience with Film Hub too. I think
Well, I take that
they're
back.
better.
Here's a crazy story of Film Hub. When I started with Film Hub, everything was going good, and somehow someone was breaking into my account and stealing money from me. Like they knew exactly when it was coming. It was the weirdest thing. So hackers like kind of were breaking into my email somehow. It took months to get that straightened out, but Film Hub was really cool about it. They had meetings with me. They're like, we don't know what's going on. And it took about a month or two, and they kept with me about the whole thing. We don't understand, and they must have figured it out on their back end because they finally said, "Hey, we have this all straightened out. Let us know if you have any more issues." And they gave me back the money that was stolen.
Wow.
So props to Film Hub. I really that was cool of them. They could have been like, "Well, that's your tough luck," you know.
Yeah, no, shout out to Film Hub on that. Yeah, they totally could have just left you out to dry on that. So good for them for going through and helping you with that. That's crazy though that someone was able to like hack in your account. I bet what they did too, they probably hacked like the system and got a bunch of different accounts and they were just taking revenue out of everyone's film at a certain times. It's like a roach or something. That's crazy.
That's what I said, but they must have figured it out, and they were doing some changes to Film Hub, so they had some leakage in there, I think. But I think that's all straightened out pretty well now. But it was cool. They stayed with me for like a good month and a half, like with meetings with me and everything. They're like, "We're going to figure this out for you." So it's very cool.
Yeah, definitely. And
So,
also another question I kind of like to ask people who've been, been there, done that, like veterans. Have you gotten your films on Tubi from Film Hub in the past, or do you never get them on Tubi, or does it go that way? Because I heard Film Hub and Tubi's kind of distancing themselves from that relationship, and that's a platform that a lot of filmmakers kind of want to be on because it pays the best.
Um, when I was with when I did distribution, like I've done a lot of distribution with Wild Eye Releasing, and I have a good relationship with Rob, and all my films have gone through Tubi through him. And then when I kind of went on my own with Film Hub, all of them went to Tubi without a problem. Yeah, I think it's just they look at the title and the artwork, and if they think it's sellable, they'll pick it up. And like I just did, Haunted America came out, and Tubi picked it up. They haven't released it yet, but it's on there. It'll
Nice.
be on there. So, I think good artwork and a good subject that sells well for them will always end up on Tubi. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's just been some filmmakers saying it's taking longer than normal to get on Tubi. Like, I think it's good though having a veteran, like kind of like what you were saying about having like a body of work. Like always making stuff, always keeping that body of work going. I feel like that really helps you on getting on those platforms for sure.
Absolutely, and I think it's timing with Tubi too, because like The Devil's Hacksaw was a film we did, and it sat there for a while, and then I noticed they had it ready for Halloween. Like, so they look at their what they're picking up and like know when they want to release stuff specifically. So it might be 3 months and it's on, and it might be 6 months and it's on, or even longer. It just I think they really watch when they release things.
so I have to ask, we've been talking about it a lot, but why did you why did you decide to choose Pennsylvania to film your films, and why do you believe it's a good state to film horror?
Oh, I live up in the foothills of Pennsylvania, like out in the middle of nowhere. So, like my love for that weird macabre forestry Appalachian horror storytelling is in my soul. So it's just the love I have for this area, and I kind of keep at it because I have a big love for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's like one of my favorite films, and that whole story of that weird family living out in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, shit, that could be any state. And living up in Pennsylvania, I'm like, that could be anywhere up here. And I just hold on to that. Like that's the creepiest thing. Like that real life thing could be happening in your backyard and you don't know it.
And that's funny that you mentioned Texas Chainsaw Massacre because I that was one of the kind of those films that kind of got me into filmmaking as well. So it's kind of cool that you have that shared interest in that experience. And I just gotta ask you, did you like the 2003 remake of it? Because I kind of like the 2003 remake, or you just strictly love the original one?
Was that the Netflix one they put out?
Oh no, no, no. The
Oh,
2003 one was the no, not the I didn't I watched the Netflix one where they were like on the bus and everything. That one kind of lost me a little bit, but the 2003 one I thought was pretty good. I don't know if you've seen it.
oh yeah, I've seen them all. I'm just wondering which year that was.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember like the plot line. It's kind of very similar to the first one,
Was that
but
the remake one? Well,
yeah, it's like a
right,
straight remake, but it's just like
right.
different time, different actors. I thought it was pretty good. I think they
I
did a pretty good
I
job.
love those. I think that was that in the beginning. I think the next one they did was the beginning. They went back on. I thought those were great. Um, it just anyone that's got a fresh idea to something old that really works well and can be respectful of the original, I love it. Unlike the Netflix version, I don't think those writers even seen the original
I,
Texas Chainsaw
man,
Massacre.
I could not agree more, man. I turned that off in like 20 minutes. I was like,
Oh man.
this is not it, the Netflix one.
Why do they do that? Why do they ruin such a like there's a mythology to it. Why can't you just follow that? And but they go off in left field with these strange stories that don't even make sense. But yeah,
Yeah.
who am I to preach?
There's
So
something about seeing Leatherface on like a party bus with the chainsaw. I was just like,
Yeah.
what? It just feels like a bad Halloween party.
Oh, it's so bad. I'm like, there's a formula to horror movies. I'm not saying this in a bad way or nothing, but your damsel in distress is usually a girl with some short clothes on.
Ain't that
There's,
the truth?
and like the bad guy is not sympathetic to something that happened. He's just a machine that wants to kill, and like they lose the whole formula. I don't know. That's just me.
I agree with you on that for sure.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you, like my favorite trailer in your website was definitely The Devil's Hacksaw, and I think my favorite part of it was when they were the person's guts was literally being ripped out. So just tell us a little bit about that scene and about your special effects team.
Oh, the Devil's Hacksaw. It was just like one of those freak accidental films we did. I had this great location, which was an old Girl Scout camp, and I got to know the owners, and they're like, "Yeah, anytime you want to use this place for a horror movie, go ahead." I'm like, "Write a story real quick because we're going to film here." So, like a lot of the effects in that movie were I try to keep them practical as much as possible, but there's just times you can't. So you just kind of go digital. It looks bad, especially on a low budget. But like I can't blow up cars. I don't have money to go blow up a car. So you just kind of do what you can on your budget. And most stuff we try to keep as practical as possible, but it just depends on the day and where we're at and. Do we have any extra funds to do something digitally if we need to? And that movie was more like my my Terrifier movie. I want to say it was just kind of tongue-in-cheek, fun serial killer type film. So it was a good time.
And do you have like a set group that you like to work with? You know, as someone who's made so many films, is it like a people that you always like to pull for the hat of on like certain roles or certain like positions on set or anything like that? Or do you do new cast, new crew every time?
It's pretty cool. I've had the same group of people that like to work on these, so I usually just pull from the same group. But the group keeps getting a little larger every year because this person knows this person or that person, or it's cool because they're all spread out everywhere. So like I can be like, well, I have this part. You want to come in for that? And it's either yes or no. And if not, I got someone else that might want to do it. So over the years, we have this little family, and it's been a blessing to me because then I'm not out looking for people all the time. They're just there and ready.
Yeah, no, that's one of the beauties of indie filmmaking too, because you really have to, wear so many hats and everyone has to have a role and a part. It's like everyone has to be connected. So it's really cool when you get to like use your creative voice and like get people in and have like a little community with that. So that's really cool. I applaud you for being able to build that. I just wishing you all the
Absolutely.
best growing that forward. And I gotta ask, what's next for Legend Hunters films? What's coming out soon? Anything, any big updates?
Well, Haunted America is a documentary we did on ghost hunting. That should be out on Tubi sometime this year.
Cool.
Finished Missing Mutants Part 2. That's kind of out. It's on DVD and a little bit of streaming. It's on Bloodstream TV right now, which is like a grindhouse double feature folklore blood gushy film. It's a fun ride. And right now we're currently doing a bunch of short films. We're gonna do like a creep show type of film, but it's called 13 Steps to Hell.
Oh,
So it's
cool.
about 13 short films that we're shooting, which is crazy. But they're all like tongue-in-cheek, dark comedy, fun pieces. So the creep show type of films is something I always kind of wanted to do. So here was my opportunity. So that's what we're
Aw-
doing.
Awesome.
And
Yeah,
then finally, actually, I gotta ask you finally, since you're from Pennsylvania, Sheets or Wawa?
I'm sorry, I missed that completely.
I said I gotta ask you since you're from Pennsylvania, Sheets or Wawa?
Sheets, sorry.
hey, I agree with that. I'm from the South, man. Sheets all the way. Sheets all the way.
I'm not far from Altoona. I mean, that's where Sheets started, so I gotta
Yeah.
give my props to Sheets.
Yeah, hey, shout out that. Sorry, Thomas, but Sheets forever, man.
Yeah.
I always tell
He's
people
the
if
Wawa
you're
guy.
looking for hot food, go to Sheets, but if you're looking for cold food, go to Wawa. So it depends on what you're craving that day.
It's usually the alcohol freezer for me, so
Yeah, those long days on set, man. Legend
uh,
Hunters films just back at Sheets, just tearing them down.
it's part of the budget. Like how much we got for booze for the end day, you know?
Ain't that the truth? All right, man. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on, man. I'm wishing you all the best. We'll be shouting you out anytime something new comes. We like to keep up with our filmmakers and stuff. So thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely. 1,000 thank yous for having me on. I
Yeah,
totally appreciate it.
yeah. And we hope you all enjoyed today's episode. And remember, stay at home.